Hey everybody, welcome back. I wanted to respond to Kyle Kalinski's video about these new quote unquote concentration camps. This is very serious, people. You don't realize, the news is very censored right now. They are building warehouses all over the country. So far they're going in like red states and some states like Virginia. But they are building these camps, and we don't know what's going to happen in them. So let's just listen to what he has to say, and then we'll come back because, I know I sounded like a nut when I said, like, the Holocaust can happen here. That's the worst, right? But my theory, call it conspiracy theory if you want, but I believe that they are finding a way to hide anybody that dies, maybe. Or maybe they're going to start a whole new campaign to do mass sterilizations. And who knows what else. And you might say, oh, you crazy, you just bugging up. Watch this.
We talked about how they are currently building a bunch of former warehouses that they're retrofitting to become ICE concentration camps, okay? I believe the number we came across in the articles we read, it was 23 different former warehouses that are becoming concentration camps. NPR even reported on one of these places where it's like the town storage facility and the federal government is just taking it. They're just stealing it, and they're going, this is ours now, and they're going to turn that into a concentration camp. And the town is like, wait, excuse me? What? What are you talking about? What are you going to do? That's insane. That's insane. Well, apparently Migrant Insider has this new article out, and Pablo Reports, the Twitter account, he does phenomenal work on this. It's his reporting, and there's this other mechanism that they're using by which they're basically increasing the funding massively. So they have this colossal budget to build out these like ghost concentration camps around the country. Now, this should scare everybody to fucking death, okay? We already know this regime sent people to CCOT in El Salvador. Well, guess what? There's detailed reporting. People were raped and tortured there. They were raped and tortured. They were so desperate, they cut their hands, were bleeding, and would write messages into their on their sheets with the blood from their hand. This is a nightmare. This is an absolute nightmare, what we're talking about. Not only that, they also had Alligator Alcatraz, which many people, I think, were correctly calling Alligator Auschwitz. Now, I believe that was eventually shut down by the courts. But it was, this big, long legal battle, and about 4,000 immigrants are missing after being sent to Alligator Auschwitz.
Where are they? Where are they? And when these warehouses go up, where will they go? When there's an incinerator available. Let's just see what Rachel Maddow has to say.
A record number of people being held right now in what we know are atrocious conditions. There's also representing people with habeas corpus petitions, right? Non-lawyers hearing that phrase don't know what I'm talking about, but lawyers instantly know what that is, right? The administration defying court orders was supposed to be such a bright red line for the vaunted American legal profession. Well, where is the administration defying court orders every day? Courts all over the country, from Minneapolis to Massachusetts, say that federal court orders are being violated every day, over and over and over again. You see at the very top there, you see the map there, and we'll get into that in a minute, but you see at the top, essentially the bottom line, 7 warehouses that ICE has bought so far to become Trump prison camps. 7 bought so far. 5 warehouses where the sale has been blocked by local opposition. 11 warehouses or it's up in the air. They are trying to buy warehouses to turn into big Trump prison camps, but the fight is still underway, still contingent, still yet to be determined. Hey, American big law, you looking for your lost reputation? Because right now, the future size of Donald Trump's archipelago of massive black site prison camps is being determined by fights in tiny little towns, by individual local officials, by angry local residents, and tiny, no-resource local activist groups that are trying one by one to stop the next Trump prison camp from being built in their town.
You know, I don't care how mad you are about immigrants. That we know about, there's a very small percentage that are actual criminals, right? They don't deserve this kind of treatment. You know? Why not put ankle monitors on them? They pay for it. We don't. They can still be out in society earning money. The ones that we know are not criminals. Oh, wait, I forgot. We're not giving them due process, right? But anyway, instead of spending billions of dollars for all of this, put an ankle monitor on them. You know? Let them keep earning money and protecting their family and their children. Anyway, let's see what Fox has to say about this.
Meeting tonight where they expect to hear from many residents about DHS's plan to build a detention facility there.
The new documents reveal how much it's going to cost taxpayers to build this. Steve Nielsen is live outside Surprise City Hall tonight, and he's learned DHS still has not been in touch with the city about this.
Yeah, it was an interesting conversation I had with the mayor today. He said from the city's perspective, this is basically about preparation. Even if the city were to pass a law or an ordinance, it still would be superseded by the federal government's plans for the building. The first city council meeting drew quite the reaction from all sides.
They were going to locate here. They should have done some planning.
And protests outside. Many have demanded more information from the Department of Homeland Security after the agency purchased a surprise warehouse at Sweetwater Ave and Dysart Road for $70 million to turn it into a detention facility. DHS now has released an economic analysis revealing more about what's planned. Retrofitting it will cost $150 million, but create nearly 1,400 jobs. Operating it over 3 years will cost $180 million, but create $16 million annually in tax revenue.
So they're making it look like they're going to create jobs, and we're going to get millions in tax revenue every year, when the immigrants contribute billions of dollars to the economy. You know, they pay towards all of the social safety programs that we have, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, but they do not get it. Their Social Security number, I believe, starts with an A. And when you apply for these benefits, you cannot get it. You have to have the number in the front. Okay? And let's just say that non-Americans, you know, people that are here legally, end up in hard times, they may qualify for that because they're U.S. citizens. People don't like that, though. They'd rather see them hungry, dying on the streets. And, you know, they're doing this and acting like they're a party of Christians, for family values, for protecting the children. Okay? And they are imprisoning these little children, little babies, even infants. And when I think about the Trumpstein files, what are they going to do with these children in there? Where are they going to go if they disappear? Tell me. Now, it may not be so crazy, right? Let's just say like that's the worst case scenario. Are they going to sterilize them like the government has in the past in Puerto Rico with the African Americans, where they underwent some sterilization procedure when they were going in for other procedures? Or when they were legit made to have them? I believe it was like 30% of Puerto Ricans that were sterilized back in the day, in the 50s. And I believe, if I remember correctly, and you can Google it, the last sterilization happened in Georgia in 2020. So you tell me how far-fetched that is. And if you are okay with the treatment of these immigrants, these people, these human beings and babies, and you claim to be a Christian, then I don't think you are. That's not cool. That's not what Jesus would do. Okay, because the kingdom of heaven belongs to the children. Jesus protected the children. And you guys that believe in pro-life, if they're getting sterilized, think about that. Think about it. Which side of history do you want to be on? We all know there's a very small percentage of illegal immigrants that are actual criminals. As a matter of fact, we have more criminals here in America as a percentage to the criminals that are illegal immigrants. So are you okay with this? You know? All in the name of national security and, you know, getting the undesirable people out, the way you say. Why not just simply take them to the border and put them on the other side of the wall? Oh, no, but it's dangerous, you know, the cartels and all that stuff. Well, people are disappearing in these camps and dying in these camps. Make it make sense to me. Stop blaming the lefts and how we're doing abortions and all this stuff. Look at what your people are doing. Stop. Stop deferring the blame. This is the legacy that you want. This is the legacy that he's leaving behind. This is something you have to live with. And if you're okay with it, God help you. Bless your heart. Because judgment day will come. It will come. Mark my words. Make it make sense. God bless.